Everybody, it's Jack Kenna, and we're going to bring in Carly Hall here in just a second. Hope you all enjoy the live feed tonight. All right, you unmute her, and I'll bring her on.
Hey,
there she is. There's Carly.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, so I think we're streaming up online. I started us, so hopefully that's all working out. Let's see. Oh, we got a lot of people on already. Okay. So if nobody can see us, let us know. I tried something a little different tonight. If you can hear us but not see us, just let me know. I think we're good, though. So anyway, we're back for another paranormal Q&A. So I hope you guys got a lot of questions tonight, or we really got no show. So, you guys. We are here for you, as always. Our whole purpose is to answer your questions. And if you see me looking to the side, it's because I got two screens going and I'm just checking something out on the other side.
You're all techie over there.
Yeah. So I think we're doing, I think they can see us. I'm just refreshing the other web page on the other side. So, because I can see we've got people checking in. I see Billy Sims is out there. Mike and Jenny are there. Bob, thanks for the help the other night, Bob. Bob is on one of our paranormal teams, Rensselaer Paranormal Research.
He's awesome.
Denise, I see Denise is there. Colette, Cheryl. Who else we got? Lots of people.
Chelsea,
Jenny,
Leanne, Penny, Teresa.
Leanne, Penny, Teresa Fowler. I see Teresa there.
You guys are
hello to all of you. Yeah, we're streaming live on the other side. I can see it. So
awesome.
Just shut that down. So anyway, again, we're here tonight for you guys' questions. If we missed a question last week and we did not get to your question, or remind us, let us know. I think we even answered some offline. So you got anything, Carly, you want to talk about right now while we're just waiting? We're just waiting on questions.
Yeah, waiting on questions.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for participating and being a part of this. And that's what we want, is for you guys to be a part of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's really about you guys answering your questions, anything you've got. So, I mean, that's the whole purpose. Bob had a question. Okay, yeah, we almost forgot about this. We actually talked about this the other night, and I said, Bob, save it for the show. He says, is there a difference of being possessed or having an attachment? Carly, go for it.
Yes, there is a difference between being possessed and having an attachment. One major difference to point out is that a possession is where another entity, non-human entity, particularly demonics, do enter the body and assume control for a limited period of time. During that time, the person who is being possessed has almost no recollection of it at all. Now, having an attachment is different. The entity does not enter your body at all. On the other hand, it is actually, what you have to imagine is it's like a string of energy that's connected between you and the entity. You and the entity. Okay. Throughout this string, the entity can send different emotions, thoughts, ideas to you and influence how you act indirectly. So you have an option whether or not to act on these emotions and thoughts. If you're possessed, you have no choice. It's directly affecting your movements and words and thoughts and everything. That's the best broad way that I can explain it.
It's a good explanation. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, if you're being possessed, something actually is inside of you, has control of you, like you were saying, and you will have blackout periods. You won't remember things. You won't be acting completely different. in front of people, and you won't even know it until they tell you about it later on. Where an attachment is, like you said, it's something that's attached to you. It can cause you pain. It can cause you to be exhausted, tired all the time, things like that. But it doesn't really possess you. It doesn't have control over
It can cause you to act differently, but you're just assuming their personality in a way.
Yeah, you're more like picking up on it.
You're picking up on what they want you to pick up.
Right. It can influence. Yeah, it can influence your decision making, not control your decision making. So there is a difference. And an attachment is much easier to remove than something that's possessing you. It takes a lot more effort, a lot more different types of rituals. Yeah, it's a whole completely different thing. Usually possession, with regards to what we think of possession, like in the movies, stuff like that, is usually something non-human. Humans can possess you, but only for very short periods of time. A human spirit can do that, but only for a short period of time. They don't have the energy to sustain it as a non-human entity would. So it just has to do with energies and how much power you have, how much energy you have to do what you got to do. So that's a good question. That's a very good question.
That is a very good question.
People don't really realize always the difference between those two things. Here, Penny Testament has a question. If you do ghost box sessions at home, is that open up a portal? The answer to that, Penny, is yes, it does. Anything you do with regarding to trying to reach out to spirit or communicate with spirit can basically, it opens up a portal. You're opening up that portal to talk to the other side. You're opening up a doorway or a gateway for something to reach through and talk to you. So yeah, it doesn't matter what you're using. Whether you use, we always associate maybe that with Ouija boards, but it's K2, spirit box, ghost box, a candle. I don't care what it is. If you're talking to something and saying, I said a candle, right? So I said, if I'm there and say, make the, if there's a spirit here with me, I want to communicate with you, make the candle flame go lower, make it go higher, make it flicker, make it go out, things like that. You're asking for spirit communication. So you're opening up a communication portal, so to speak. And anything can come through that. You just don't know what it's going to be. So the answer to that is yes, you are opening up a portal, which is why I always tell people, do not investigate your own home. No. Don't do this stuff in your own house because you don't know what you're bringing in. And what would be the purpose of it anyway? I mean, when we investigate, people say, well, you do it when you investigate somebody's home. But yeah, it's true, we do. But we do it for the reason of trying to find out what is haunting the individual, what's going on.
What's already been there.
But our purpose is to try to help this person figure out what's going on. It's not just let's call it in and talk to it and have some fun with it. And it's all about your intent. What's your intent of trying to reach out to this thing or trying to communicate with these things? Because once you start doing it in your own home, even if this spirit isn't necessarily malevolent or evil or anything like that, you've just tried to talk to it. You may just want to talk once, but it may have been waiting for somebody to talk to it for a long time, and it has a story it wants to tell, and it wants to communicate with you, or it's lonely and it wants to reach out, and it's going to keep trying to communicate with you. And the more you ignore it, the more intense that haunting can get all of a sudden. And next thing you know, you're being scratched, you're being bruised, because this thing is desperate to get your attention. Absolutely. And you're ignoring it. So you got to think about those things before you start trying out devices and stuff in your own home.
And that's another good point too. If you are experiencing a haunting and you are having bruises and being scratched, it doesn't necessarily directly point to a demonic haunting either. It's the same concept as a drowning victim. Of someone who wants so desperately to find help and try to be saved will go to any measures to try to be helped and try to reach contact, but in the end sometimes they end up hurting the people that are trying to help them.
Yeah. Oh, and Don says, well done, Carly, and I think that's in regards to your first question answer.
Thank you, Don.
About with regards to
attachment.
Yeah, attachments and possessions. So thanks, Don. We know who Don is. Don is our friend out there in Massachusetts.
Awesome, Don.
He's a great guy. He's got a great team out there. So, and Teresa Feller Teresa Fowler asked the question, how can I close a portal in my yard safely? It depends what kind of portal it is, too. Is it an energy portal? Is it a spirit portal? How do you know there's a portal there to begin with? You've got to find it and identify it first. So, Teresa, I would ask the question back to you of, well, how do you know you have a portal in your backyard, or why do you think there's a portal in your backyard, and what's happening that you would like to close it? There is things that can be done to close spirit portals. There's different techniques and different things that can be done. Some are permanent, some don't always last. Sometimes you got to go back. If it's something that was created by something in regards to Native American stuff, there's different type of rituals are done for that. Sometimes they leave them open for those spirits to pass through. You just want to put a protection around your house so these spirits don't cross in and out don't come in and out of your home. So sometimes we want to close a portal, sometimes we don't want to close a portal. It just depends. Sometimes we can't close a portal. Usually energy portals that are just, the energy from the earth, things that are doing that we don't close them off. Typically you don't want to, and I don't really know if you can. It's not a spirit portal that was created by an incident or someone using a device to open something up. So it just depends. There is ways to close them using energy and spirit portals, at least anyway, using energy and prayer and envisioning this portal being a certain something, and then you seal it.
Visualization is a huge key component to it.
Yeah. I mean, with
it helps
some
with
people,
the intent.
Yeah, with some people they vision the portal as a ripped piece of cloth with light coming through it, and they sew that cloth completely shut and to seal the portal while doing prayer or whatever their faith is at the same time. All right, so if you want more information or you want to share more information with us, Teresa, on that, you can email me or Carly. You can email me at jackkenna.org@gmail.com. So just jackkenna.org@gmail.com. You can email me with more details about what's going on there, and I can give you some better advice as to what to do with that. All right. Bob Maloney says, thanks. Penny, so if I open, okay. So Penny Testament again, if regards to her, can you open a portal with a spirit, using a spirit box session? If I open one, meaning a portal, will it close on its own, or do I have to close it? Anytime you start communication with spirit of any kind, you have to close that session to close that portal. If you don't do certain things, it's going to stay open, and then anything can come through it, Penny. So you want to make sure, and she says she's been trying to contact family members who've crossed over. That's okay. You want to make sure you're very specific about that's who you're specifically trying to reach. Usually when you're trying to do sessions like that, that's almost like trying to use a Ouija board. I would say start with prayer first, whatever your faith is, whatever your belief system is, start with prayer, asking that only these family members allowed to be communicate through and to come through, and that you're only looking to talk to them specifically, and then try to communicate. If you're really insistent you're going to do it, try to communicate that way. And then when you're done, you want to reiterate with prayer and with your own words that I'm ending this session. I'm closing out. I don't want anything to communicate with me. We're going to be shutting this down. We're going to be leaving now. Do it very respectfully. Just let them know you're not going to be communicating any further tonight or for a period of time. And then use your prayer from your faith system to shut it down. You really got to believe. You've got to have real faith, and you got to really believe in order for these things to work. And envision, you can also envision a white light surrounding you to protect you, the white light of your faith surrounding you to protect you during that. But I still recommend not really using those devices in your home to try to communicate, especially if you're not used to doing this stuff. You don't want to just buy a spirit box and start trying to talk to things. you got to get some. It's as easy as that, but yeah, you can end up with a lot of problems by doing it that way. You can end up with a haunting you really don't want, and that's the problem. You can end up with an attachment which you really don't want. If you want to try to communicate with crust over, family members, go to a good psychic medium. We know several that are trustworthy. If you can't afford one, then what I suggest is maybe reach out to a paranormal team that might be able to, or somebody on their team who's more into that end of it. Maybe they're a psychic or whatever that might be able to help you if you're really looking to try to get a message from somebody. But typically, you would want to go, if you're trying to look to get a message from a deceased family member. I do recommend trying to go to a good, reputable psychic medium, because they can use their energy to reach out better for you. They know what they're doing. They know how to do it. They know how to do it safely. There are some very good, valid ones out there, and there's some that aren't. Just don't go to anybody. You want to make sure you reach out to somebody who's got some abilities and is on the up and up. Because there's ones that aren't. We all know that, and there's some very good ones also. But please be careful investigating, doing anything in your home. I helped a client just a couple of years ago who had been using a spirit board to contact her deceased husband and son. Things were going fine until one day she ended up with something very bad that came through it, and ended up being attacked by it. And this thing was demonic, and we had to come in and try to help get rid of that and close the board. And there's some very strange things that went on with that case, but in the end, even the people she was trying to reach kind of stepped in and helped and left. They came to her in vision, in her dream, and told her it's too dangerous to be doing this anymore, and they were going to leave, and they would see her when her own time came, but they weren't going to be interacting with her anymore beyond that. She actually told us that of this vision that she had. So be careful. Just please be careful. Try not to do that. Try to help get somebody who has some experience to help you.
Yeah, this is this is a spiritual realm. A good majority of this is unknown. We don't 100% exactly know what goes on the other side. So you do have to be very careful, because you just don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is very important. This is the spiritual realm. It's not just like you pick up the phone and you can call your deceased grandmother. There's a lot to it, and sometimes there are consequences.
Right. Jenny brought up Jenny Deinhardt. So if you feel you have a spirit trying to reach out to you, where is the line in responding to them and investigating in your own home? I will repeat myself again. Do not investigate your own home. That's my real, true advice. Do not investigate your own home. I cannot say it enough. I will not stop saying it. It's just not a smart idea. Regardless, if something's trying to reach out to you, here again, I would, and you're not sure really how to communicate with it. Now, in Jenny's case, I know she has psychic abilities and stuff like that. And she's a little bit more versed in being able to this kind of communicate with spirit on her own. Even she's still not totally sure yet. She's not, what we would say, the word expert. I use that word, but yeah. Everybody is still learning. That's the point. Everybody's still learning. There are no experts.
Exactly.
But she's a little bit more newer to it. And I know she's got things reaching out to her. But she's doing the right thing. She's actually reaching out to us as our friend to talk to us about it and try to figure out where are the lines to draw and all that. I would not, if something's trying to communicate with you through your dreams and stuff, write them down when you wake up. The minute you wake up, because you'll probably still remember until your feet touch the ground. Write it down. Have a notebook next to you. Write it down what your vision was. Write it down as much as you can remember. Make note of it. Talk to, and again, turn to a reputable psychic medium who can assist you or even a paranormal team that that has a reputable psychic medium on it. Most of them have pretty good psychic mediums that can assist you with trying to figure out what's going on and what this. Because in a way, that's a haunting. So what is this haunting about? What is it about? Even dream interpreters can help with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we know of a couple there too. So I've got names of a couple. Well,
Dreams aren't always what they seem to be. Remember that
yeah.
3-night spree of me killing
But
you all?
if you think something's trying to communicate with you directly with stuff happening in your house, turn to a paranormal team that you can trust and ask them to help you. Right? Have them come in to help you. We do this stuff for free, most of us. We'll come and help you. We usually ask a form to be filled out or whatever, but we're not going to ask anything else of you, and we'll come and try to figure it out. And Carly, you better say hi to this guy, Larry.
Larry! Hi, Larry.
He's been on for a little while, I think. So
Okay.
Larry is. I'll let Carly tell you who Larry is.
So Jack is, as you know, is writing my book based on my haunting, and we were looking up more information about my birth mother, and Jack stumbled across this guy named Larry on one of like a Facebook post, and so I discovered that he is my actual biological brother. And we connected at the beginning of January, and we've been talking and playing Xbox together and having a grand old time. So we've been learning a lot about each other and a lot about ourselves as well. So especially when it comes to like the paranormal and psychic abilities and stuff, and how that translates to each sibling as well. So it definitely is a familial trait for us.
Yeah, see that's where you never know where the paranormal is going to lead you. In writing, working on Carly's book about her experiences over her 8 years, doing some research, I came across that. So you never know where the paranormal is going to lead you to. It led her to her brother, which is a really positive thing. And Larry, I got to meet you sometime. I know I haven't met you or really talked to you.
He's an awesome guy.
I need to do that.
He is a
and I got to get to this. Lisa Nicholson. Yes, Lisa, I see you out there. She says, "Can you help me?" She hasn't said what yet, unless it's down further. But Lisa, what? I see you there. She goes, "Oh, here she goes. I'm an empath. I have too much emotion going on. Okay. Don't know what to do. Okay. I need help. Okay. All right. So
these are not my emotions.
These are not my emotions. At least she doesn't believe they're her emotions. We never know, Lisa. I mean, we can't tell you that you know if they're your emotions or not. Can I tell you what to do? I actually will let Carly talk to that. So she's an empath, and I know I have maybe another couple empaths out here that might be on our site here tonight with us. I might be able to help Lisa too. But Carly, speak to that first. And if I do have somebody else out there that's more, I'm a little bit of an empath, but I know Penny, there it is, Penny Tessman. Penny says, Lisa, I'm not a medium, I am an empath. So Penny, Lisa is an empath. And actually, Penny, if you like, I'm going to let Carly talk to this for a minute. But then, Penny, if you'd like, I can actually send you a link and bring you in, and you can discuss on here to Lisa your thoughts on an empath and maybe how to help Lisa with that too. So, Carly, you go ahead first. Penny, respond to me and let me know if you'd like to be brought on the show.
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to take a moment to define empath for those that don't know what it is. Empath is an ability that people have. You can either pick up on people's pain, people's emotion, or both. You don't necessarily have control over it, but you can practice and gain control over it. It can be very overwhelming because, especially when you're in a crowd, it can be very draining picking up on everybody's emotions and energy, and it takes a lot out of you. One thing that I like to do is a grounding and shielding technique. So pretty much I'm just focusing my own energy, not anybody else's, making sure I'm in a safe, a quiet space by myself. I like to do this either in the morning or in the evening, once in the morning, once in the evening. And just focus on my own energy. So it's like a line that goes from your head down all the way to your feet. And you just want to make sure that you sit there and take nice, calm, deep breaths and just focus on the energy going from the top of your head all the way down through your body, through your feet, and kind of spreads from the bottom of your feet into the ground like roots. And it's not instantaneous. It takes a few minutes. It takes at least 10 minutes for me to do. It will take about 10 minutes for beginners in order to fully ground themselves. And you just want to make sure that you feel stable, calm, and centered. So what I like to do is when standing up, if I close my eyes, you can kind of feel yourself teeter-tottering a little bit. Once I'm done centering myself and grounding with the energy through the body into the feet, like the tree roots, I'll stop swaying back and forth so that I know that I'm fully grounded. And then you want to make sure that you put yourself in a nice bubble. I like to call it the hamster bubble, like those inflatable balls that you run around in and run people over. It's the same concept. Nobody can touch you. Nobody can get at you. So it's a white ball of light surrounding you. And you just want to make sure that you can envision. Envisioning is the most important part because it's a huge part of intent. The white ball of light around you is blocking anything coming in, and it's just keeping you in your own safe, sacred space. And you can envision all the darkness kind of shooting off of your shield, like a force field shield. At that point, if you do it in the morning and in the evening, you'll find that you're less drained during the day. You won't be picking up on each other's emotions. And what I noticed was it was pretty much like an instantaneous effect. I felt calmer during the day. I was able to make much more clearer thoughts. I was able to enunciate my thoughts correctly, when speaking, and it was less overwhelming in general.
There you go. So, Lisa, I would suggest, to follow what Carly was just talking about, and even what Penny Tessman was discussing just above that too. Those blocking techniques can help quite a bit with what you're experiencing and that anxiety, because probably a lot of that anxiety isn't yours. It's either other people's or spirits' anxiety. You're just picking up on it all. So yes, it can be overwhelming and difficult to deal with. So remember that, and just do the best you can. Try those and see what happens. Well, I see Lisa. Actually, Lisa also just mentioned something else she's had going on. Her son died in her house on Christmas Eve. It's got very bad. So obviously, Lisa, you're dealing with a lot of trauma there right now. So a lot of this, if you're already an empath, and you're dealing with a lot of your own personal things that are going on, and we're very sorry to hear that. Very sorry about hear about your son. We'll say prayers for him and you and your family. But yeah, with all that going on, it's no wonder you're having all this anxiety and being overwhelmed by this. It's going to take some time to heal from that, and use those techniques to try to block out all the other stuff in the meantime, and just try to focus on your own emotions and your own feelings and the loss that you've just had, which wasn't. I mean, it's not that long. It's just you're talking about Christmas. That's the worst time for anything like that to happen. And focus on that and trying to not just heal from that, but even come to terms with that. I can't imagine that. I mean, that's horrible. So what I would suggest is everybody here, maybe we could say some prayers for Lisa tonight and her family, and
Absolutely.
ask for some healing energy for her. Put that around her and her family, and that her son is maybe in a better place. Has moved on, better place. It's doing okay. Maybe some of what you're feeling is his emotions and stuff too. If he's maybe still around for the moment, or or just trying to let you know he's okay or he's going to be okay. Yeah, I could see why it's worse now. Like I said, Lisa, because she says I've always been like this, but now it's worse. Well, it's obviously understandable that it's worse right now. So,
and trauma commonly actually also increases people's abilities as well.
yeah,
So,
that's good. That's a good point. So, yeah, and again, we're very sorry for your loss there.
So
And
sorry.
yeah, I understand you still say it's not your emotions, but what I'm saying is follow the techniques like Carly and Penny were talking about to block out all those other emotions. Use those grounding and blocking techniques to block out all those other outside emotions. Just focus on your own. If you use those techniques, they can help. Sometimes they're very hard to originally start getting going, but if you keep working at it every day, even just you spend 5 minutes a day just working on 10 minutes a day working on grounding and protection and blocking, it'll help over a period of time. So will prayer. I mean, prayer can actually create for whatever your faith is, whatever your belief system is, can create a calming emotion to you. I mean, I don't know if there's other things going on too, but if you'd like to email us privately, again, you can email me at jackkenna.org@gmail.com, and we'll try to reach out to you there. And you can, if there's more information you'd like to give us that you want to share here, that's fine. Do that too. We'll try to help you as best we can. And Penny's just asking her certain questions about what was her son. Yeah. So yeah, and I would just say, Penny, if you'd like to have that conversation with Lisa, do that in a private session. We don't necessarily want to share all Lisa's stuff right here openly, unless she's willing to do that. But if you want to take that on the side, that'd be fine. And hey, Ted Vanson, I see you out there. I think I liked your thing. Sorry, we're just having that conversation. But Ted, I see you out there, and we will be at Ted's event. If you'd like to see us in person, we'll be at Ted's event the end of this month, the end of February, and that's the Rochester Winter Parafest. We'll be at, and those dates are. We're doing a dinner on 28th, and it's the 29th. 29th of February, we will be at the Rochester Winter Parafest, which you can look up here on Facebook. Let's see if I can look it up real quick for Ted. And I'll see if I find it. Oh, okay, I found it. I can pull it up for a quick second and show that to everybody who's watching and tuning in here. Ted,
awesome.
Bear with me for a second. Just waiting for it to come up. There it is, Rochester Winter Parafest. Okay, let me pull this up for you, Ted. Bear with me for just a second. Share this. This is the Facebook page for the Rochester Winter Parafest. I'm just going to share this quickly. And I'm going to make that solo for just a quick second so people can see it better. There you go, Ted. I'm putting that up there for you. So Rochester Winter Parafest, there you guys go. February 29th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. March 1st, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's right. It's 2 nights, or 2 days, I should say. Sorry about that. It is a 2-day event, February 29th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and March 1st, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So it's Saturday and Sunday. And it's at the Valley Oak Event Center, 4242 Lakeview Road, Geneseo, New York. There you go. And that's the 2020 Rochester Winter Parafest. All right, let's get back to it here. Take that down. Put us back. There we are. Hello, Carly.
Hi.
All right, so there we go. Ted, I hope that was helpful for you out there. Always like to try to help out our friends and bring up what we can. I see. No, it's coming down, Carly. Don't worry.
Okay.
There's a delay between what you hear us talking and when it's coming up. So we'll be back up there in a second. So always remember, there's like a 5-10 second delay between the broadcast on Facebook and where we are.
Oh no, I'm talking about the live feed will be in a few moments thing on the bottom here.
Oh, don't worry about that.
Okay.
That's just if people have been seeing that, it's just a tag I have up there. I can take that down very quickly, just like this. Boop. Gone. See how quick that was?
Hey, it was in front of the Facebook thing, so I didn't.
See, there's little things that like really annoy Carly sometimes. That's
well, it was in front of the Facebook page. I was letting it go, but it was blocking information, crucial information.
It's still blocking information. What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm gonna block all the information just by doing that. Look at that. I'm blocking everything.
Oh no, don't do that.
But we got our stream. We got our stream thing underneath.
See, this is the guy that will go in the exit entrance, like, you know those arrows that point one way on the road? Like, this is the guy, if I'm sitting in the car, will purposely go in the out arrow.
Everybody does that, Carly. It's faster.
Stop it.
As long as there's nothing coming, nobody cares. Or am I the only one out there, people that does that? Maybe. I don't know.
I think you just like to
let people respond to that. Yeah. Okay, so Danette just said, I just wanted to pop up and say hi. My phone is about to quit. Okay, Danette. Hello. Hopefully we caught you before your phone quit. We love you. Thanks for tuning in. Maybe you can jump on your computer if you have one. You can watch us there. Or plug your phone in before it dies, and you can keep watching. Phil Casey says hi. Hello. Oh, Phil. Lisa said thanks. Penny says, Jack, you live by me. Originally from Troy. Oh, hey, Penny. Yeah. I'm in Rensselaer. So, and then Ted put up his website, winterparafest.com. Go to winterparafest.com for more information on the Winter Parafest. So, Penny, I don't know if I really realized you lived closer than my neighbor. Hello, neighbor. Teresa's heading off. Good night, Jack and Carly. Stay safe. You too, Teresa. We'll see you again soon. Ted said thanks for what we're doing. Ed is on. Hey, Jack. Carly. Ed. Hey, Ed. Good to see you, Ed. Hope all is well out there. I know you're just talking to Carly earlier tonight.
Yeah.
And Ted Vincent says, buddy, the Bigfoot will be there. Okay, that's good to know. I see a Bigfoot on that page that I put up. So yeah. I see Crystal Lee. Hey Jack, hey Carly. So good to see you both. Always good to see you too, Crystal. And Ed asked a question. What are the black-eyed kids? I know a little bit about those. I don't know a lot about them. I'm not sure I totally believe in the black-eyed kids, but Carly says she's waving her hand. Says I'll let Carly talk to that.
So, just a little explanation. Black-eyed kids are entities that appear as kids from the ages of 6 to 12, and they're very pale. They have black eyes, like pure black eyes, and they tend to follow hitchhikers. And they also end up in they'll follow you to like a residential home as well if you're out in the wilderness. Supposedly, this is the lore, the myth. They will follow you to your home. People have seen them outside their windows. They've seen them in their driveway. They like tap on the glass and they kind of scratch a little bit. It's just kind of freaky. But I haven't heard anybody ever having experiences of black-eyed kids.
I know the first
where it originates from.
The first original sighting, from my understanding, it was by a gentleman who lived in the UK, and he was kind of attacked by these things in his car, and I forget the whole story. Actually, somebody who knows a lot about this, if you guys look up Paranormal Underground magazine, they had a whole article on it and its origins and where it began from. and I believe, but if Paranormal Underground magazine, I used to write for them at one time. But some great people there. Look them up, check into them. They had a whole article on the black-eyed children and their origins, where it came from, what happened, and all that. So if you want to look that up, I will try to find because I think I have that magazine, that article, that month of the magazine. I think it was a couple years ago it came out, and I'll try to look it up. And if I find that article, I'll actually post it on here, or post it on my Facebook page for you guys. Yeah, but good friends of mine run that magazine. And Ed did ask, do you work with an exorcist? Actually, Ed, I do. And I think you probably know maybe who at least one of them is. I'm actually doing some work with, I haven't worked any cases with him yet. I haven't had him on a case yet. But James Anito, and I know you know who James is. And I have done a couple cases with my friend Steve Coles, who is an ordained minister and is an exorcist. And I've assisted a couple exorcisms with him, actually. And so I do work with an exorcist. Yes. Thankfully, not very often. But I do. And I'm actually working, I got to get back with James. I had started to work with him to study demonology, and that's my own fault. I just had too much going on family-wise to follow up with him lately, but I need to follow up with him and get back on track with that. Now that things are hopefully calming down again after this month. I had some problems myself, not me, well, I just been sick, but some family things going on with my sister, who's gonna have to move in our house with us and stuff like that. She had some bad news and had some medical issues going on. So if you guys could say some prayers for her, I don't want to say what it is, that's her business. But if you could say some prayers for my sister, Michelle, I'd greatly appreciate that. To help her with her medical issues she has going on. I greatly appreciate that. I'll say that.
Ed himself is also a great guy to reach out to in terms of,
yes,
because I'm studying under him for my religious studies.
Yes, you are. That's correct. Yes, Ed is a great guy. If you guys don't know, if the rest of you out there that we're talking tonight don't know who Ed is, check him out on his Facebook page and stuff. And yes, Carly is studying with him. He's a great guy. I love Ed. Yeah.
You guys have an awesome connection.
Yeah, he's a great connection too. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And he is another one of our connections with our stuff. If I ever needed some other help and stuff like that, I would turn to Ed in a second. I wouldn't hesitate to turn to him. Ed's a great guy. So if somebody else maybe wants to ask, look for spiritual guidance, med, stuff like that, feel free. I don't think he would mind. I don't think he would mind at all. Now, Penny Testman, I'm going to try this. It looks like I can put these things up on our screen, so I'm going to try this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, fancy.
I didn't know I could do this, Penny. Here's Penny. Just got the music box. What do you think about that device? I'll be honest, Penny, I have never heard about the music box.
What is the music box?
Is it like another spirit box kind of thing? Or does it use music to try to use communication with spirit? Tell us a little bit more about that, Penny. If somebody else online here right now who's watching knows a little bit about it, give us your opinion on it. Give us your opinion on what the music box is, and I will post up your thing like I just did with Penny's question. And yes, at Paranormal Underground, good article on the black-eyed children. You can actually, there's a place where you can go to their website, paranormalundergroundmagazine.com, I think it is. And you can look up the past articles and stuff. And you can purchase the magazine online if you'd like, or you can look up past articles that they have on that. But reach out to them. Tell them Jack Kenna sent you if you want to find out about the black-eyed children or other things. They know me. They're friends of mine, and it's all good. Hey, Eric Julian, I see you out there. How you doing tonight, Eric? And Ed, you're very welcome. So Eric, if you know about, Eric says he's used it before, the music box. So Eric, if you've used it, share your thoughts with us. If you shoot up a thing, I'll throw it up here where everybody can see it too.
Yeah.
This is what Eric said. He goes, we've used it before at the Lookout House. Very cool. I don't know if I was there when you used it, but I'd like to know more about it because I haven't heard about this one.
I have
And
an excerpt.
Penny says, I'll throw this up. It uses music when something goes near it. Okay.
I have an excerpt from Ghost Hunters Equipment, who sells them, and it's an explanation. If you want
I'd like to, yeah. If you've got it, we can. If you pull up a web page, I can probably share it. Let me see what I can find on it. Hang on, everybody, and I'll look up to see what I can find on the music box, and if I have something, I'll.
Now that I see the picture, I do recognize it, but I don't know if
I'm gonna try to look it up and see what I can find. Or if somebody has a link to it.
I sent you the link on it. It does look very cool, and I like that it's a coffin shaped. Very interesting.
Coffin shaped music box. Isn't that wonderful?
Hi, Plato.
Oh, Plato's on. All right. So here's, well, it doesn't give a description of Jesus.
No, it does.
That much?
Yeah.
Oh, it does give a description. Okay, I'm gonna pull this up. Bear with me a second, people. I'm gonna close something else down. And I'm gonna share this. I wouldn't pay that much for that thing. You have your mind? The money they want for these things is,
But it's cool, and it's a coffin.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you $50 for it. That's what I'll give you. Jack's cheap, everybody. Just so you know, I am cheap. So here it is. All right. So here's the what's he doing about that?
The paranormal music box.
The paranormal music box. I assume, Penny, this is what you're talking about. It was used on Ghost Adventures. All right. So here's a little bit about it. I'll leave it up there for a second. I've seen it. Skills I get Ghost Hunters Equipment. Oh, Ghost Hunters Equipment. Okay, I know who runs that. The PMB is an intriguing and an interesting ghost hunting tool that is creating remarkable results in the paranormal investigations all around the world. I'm just reading off the website. The PMB works as a trigger object, and it alerts both visually and audibly if anything seen or unseen passes in front of the PMB. When that happens, it starts playing and the light goes on. Oh, interesting. It's another new toy. Effective as trigger object. What I always do before I give opinions on anything, because I will tell you this, what I've learned trying out all kinds of different things over the years, and I'm gonna bring this back down. So you can go to that website if you want. It's what was it, a Ghost Hunters store?
Yeah, Ghost Hunters Equipment.
GhostHuntersEquipment.com. So if you want to read more about it, go to GhostHuntersEquipment.com. I'm going to take that down. All right.
Even Eric admits the price is expensive.
But I would tell you this, having worked with all kinds of equipment over the years, whether I owned it or not, I borrow things from people and use it. What I have found is anything can work. Realistically, anything can work. You have to, when you originally go to a location to try to communicate with spirit, what I found is you need to explain these devices to any spirits that might be there. Just like you're talking to a person, explain to them how it works, how they can interact with it, and then try to communicate. Sometimes it won't happen right away, because I have also found in a lot of cases, spirit don't like to be the focus of the center. They don't like to be the center of attention, right? They will a lot of times join in during a conversation that you're having with somebody else who's on your team, or somebody else who's just there. Just talk about things that are relevant to life and your life and what was going on. And a lot of times you'll find they'll join in and they'll start interacting with these devices. And that really works very well for us on many cases. Don't just ask questions. Have a conversation about something. It's like people at work around the water cooler, right? You hear somebody talking about, your favorite show or something that really interests you, and next thing you know, you're going over to listen, at least for a little bit. And then when they hit on something, it kind of gets your interest and you want to interject, right? Works the same way with spirit. I truly believe it works the same way with spirit. They will start interacting with you, then they'll get more comfortable with you, because remember, they don't know who the heck you are. So once you start getting into that and having those conversations, they'll start to join in, and then you can start talking to them and they will begin to respond. That's what I have found over the years. So my point is, Penny, yeah, I think this probably thing can work. I think anything can work, right? People pick on me because I use apps all the time. Well, I do use a couple of favorite apps of mine, and they do work. I can show you a correlation between what was going on that ghost radar device and EVPs we captured at the same time, and somebody had a personal experience being touched or something at the same time, or hearing somebody whisper in their ear. I can show you that correlation between it. So
And
that tells me it's functional, it's working, there is interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put anything down. Keep an open mind. Don't put anything down, or don't put anybody's ideas down. I always say that too. All right, so let's try to catch up here. Oh, Bradley. What are you both from Canada? We know you, Bradley. We know you're in Canada. How's New Brunswick up there? You got a lot of snow up there? I'm sure he does. Eric says mixed reviews. Used it in the parlor a few times. The price is expensive. Yeah, it is expensive. But again, I think mixed reviews shows that it has potential to actually work once a spirit can understand it and know how to interact with it. That they'll use it, and I think you'll get better interaction as time goes on. I think a lot of people like it because of the design. Yeah, everybody likes a music box. A lot of people not everybody, but a lot of people like a music box. I think the fact that it looks like a coffin is pretty cool.
I think we missed a question from Jenny.
Do we? All right. Yeah. Well, if you found it, read it back up there.
What is deja vu and why do we experience it?
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Carla. I've been doing a lot of talking.
Oh, okay. So deja vu, I can explain from a scientific and medical perspective. What people have experienced is that during moments of deja vu, what they believe is information travels from one hemisphere of the brain to the other. And sometimes the information takes a little bit longer to get to the other side of the brain. So it seems as if it's copied. So that way, the information seems kind of familiar to us. From a paranormal standpoint or a metaphysical standpoint, people believe that when they experience deja vu, they've experienced it before, either in another lifetime or in another parallel universe at the same time as your other self in another parallel universe. From a personal experience with deja vu, what I typically do when I experience it, because I experience it a lot. Oh, Ed, thank you so much. You're so nice. Is I kind of take note of what's going on in that moment, and I see if there's kind of a lesson to be learned in that given moment, because it's kind of a way of giving emphasis on that particular moment in time. People who have psychic abilities commonly experience deja vu quite a bit, along with very lucid dreams. But that's just my personal take on deja vu. I just take note of it and kind of, process that given moment in time to see if there's anything of importance. I don't know if I can hear you, Jack.
Sorry, I had muted myself and forgot. Okay. All right. So I threw this up there because Penny says, personally, I like Dowsing Rods. And what I had said is I agree. I like them too. I've learned to like them. For many years, I wasn't sure about them. Until friends of mine from San Diego Ghost Hunters, my friend Maritza and my friend Colleen, taught me how to use them properly, and we had a lot of activity on the Star of India and other locations we investigated out in San Diego together over the years. I miss my friends out there. They're great people. But yes, dowsing rods work extremely well. It's one of the old tools, and I do really like them. They are very useful. They're very subjective. You can't prove anything necessarily by them. Again, if you're catching EVPs or you're catching something on video, or you're having personal experiences while they're using them, you can prove that yes, I am getting more than one thing happening. I am getting actual responses based on this, based on other evidence we're collecting. Interestingly enough, though, I've said this many times, they are still used to this day, even by local city, the city people work on the roads and stuff like that. They use them to find pipes underneath the streets. I helped one of the guys do that once, who was looking for the gas line that ran on our side street. And I knew where it was, but he was a new guy, and the old guys forgot where it was. And they gave him the divining rods to go find it with. And he thought they were joking with him. And I said, no, you actually use it. I showed him how to properly use it. And he found the gas line, because I actually knew where it was. I lived there all my life, so I knew where the gas line was. But he found it, and I'm like, yep, that's it. And then he finally found, right at the edge of the property where it was, the last remnants of a marker of where the gas line was. So it actually justified it for him, of where they originally had marked it before that was fading out. So it's very cool. Oh, your brother put up something here. I'm gonna post this up there. Yeah, here's what Larry had to say. Doesn't look anything like her, does he? See his picture up there.
Just a tad. So Larry said, sometimes I would dream about a place or event. Then in the future, I would feel deja vu when I reached that point. I always thought of deja vu as a sense of clairvoyance. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I experienced the same thing. So I always take note of it, because it's something that your senses, I believe your senses are picking up for you to take note and kind of putting emphasis on that moment in time. For those of you that don't know what clairvoyance is, it means clear seeing. It is one of the 5 clairs of psychic abilities.
And here's another one from Michelle regarding clairvoyance. Or deja vu, I should say. My moments of deja vu have always been where at that moment I know I have dreamed this moment before. All right, so that's for her. I have had many past experiences of deja vu where I've dreamt of a place, and could be months later, I find myself in a place I've never been before, and I recognize it, and suddenly dawns on me that's the place I dreamt about. That happened to me with going to New Hampshire one time, up to Lake Winnipesaukee, and I'd never been there before. I had dreamt of this place and didn't know what it was about. And 2 months later, I go with friends of mine up to Lake Winnipesaukee. It was the exact same town and location near the lake. I'm like, what was that? I dreamt about it. So we could say it was a premonition. And I knew I was with friends there. It wasn't my family I was with friends there. I didn't know which friends, so I couldn't see who they were. But I remember walking down this street with them, and we look over at this one spot. I looked over this one spot on the lake, and that's exactly what happened. It wasn't anything major, nothing, but it was just that series of events, and looking over at the lake and seeing that section of the lake. It's like, wow, wait, I stopped dead in my tracks. I've been here, and that's what it was.
Yeah. I did that with your house.
It says I spoke in tongues. I did for a second. Blah, 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 blah,
Blah, blah, blah, blah.
blah, 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 blah. It's like Charlie. Yeah, that's like Charlie Brown's teachers. You remember Charlie Brown? Maybe yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
For real though, when it gets to be 3 a.m. in the middle of an investigation, it starts to sound like that.
It does. It does. Right. And you know what? We're almost at the end of our show. We've got a couple minutes left.
Are we?
It's 8:58. I'm going to bring up this. I'm going to say, don't forget, if you're local, you're in the area, you're within New York, this April, and registration is currently open. It's actually streaming down below. Hudson Valley Community College is now open online for registration for Paranormal Research 101 course. Hudson Valley Community College here in Troy, New York area. If you're in the area, you want to come to that course, one of our guys, actually a couple of our people were on tonight that took that course. And they really enjoyed it, went really well, which is why Hudson Valley agreed to bring it back. My book, Paranormal Research, Comprehensive Guide to Building a Strong Team, is the accepted course book for that. Let's see if I can pull that up for you. I have a list. Let's see. Here it is. So I'll put that up for just a quick second. And boom, boom, boom. And so there's the book. It's available online. It even says that down below. All my books are available online, Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and I think even at Target.com, believe it or not. I did find they're on Target too. But Amazon.com, you probably get the best price. The book usually is $24.99. I think right now on Amazon it's $19 and change. So it's a good price on that right now. There's a hardcover book. It covers everything we cover in the course. But the course is available through Hudson Valley. You can register now. We will be beginning in April. It'll be mid-April through mid-May. And then we'll also be holding the course again in the summer in May and June time frame at Schenectady County Community College. I'm also just going to bring this up. It's my website, and I'm going to go solo on that. And these are our upcoming events that we have. You can see February 29th, Rochester Winter Parafest. It's actually 29th through March 1st. I got to correct that. But it actually says that in the March 1st, yeah, whatever. So March 7th, a haunting night in Columbia, Tennessee. We'll be down there with our good friend Greg TJ Justice, who was on last week with us. March 28th, Psychic Kids. Really looking forward to that. And that'll be down in Martinsburg, West Virginia. So we're going to be down there. April 25th through 26th, the Stroudsburg Historical Preservation. We'll be down there. That's in Stroudsburg, Virginia. I think we got something else in between. I need to update this. June 5th through 6th, Portland, Maine, Paracon 2. Of course, that's with our good buddy out there. Oh my God, my mind just went blank. Sorry, my friend. Anyways, you can go to our website, check out all our events. My website is jackkenna.org. That's jackkenna.org. And you go on there and go to events and check out all of our events online. All right, so I'm bringing us back. Here we go. So check it out. You'll see everything we got coming up, everything that's going on. And again, we always appreciate all of you. And I'm just going to see if we have any last minute questions. Oh, here's one from Larry. I'll go back to your brother again.
Oh,
yeah. And Penny Testman says, good night. Good night, Penny. We're still here for a couple more minutes, but I'm going to get to Larry's question. All right, so here's Larry's question. You can read it, Carly, as your brother.
Okay. Okay. How would someone go about one or two spirits who dwell in an area of a house? I know what he's talking about. For example, nightmares about a place in a basement. People ignorantly walking to that spot and saying there's something there. Could house spirits be communicated with, or would it be safer to try not to talk to a shadow person? Okay, one point I want to make. When you see spirits in your house that are already there, one of the most important things to kind of observe is how do you initially feel when you first see them? If you see a shadow, not all shadow people are bad. They're not all negative. If if a shadow person is standing right in front of you, and your first initial reaction is, "Oh, what is that?" That's a pretty benign feeling. You're not scared of it at all, and you're kind of just curious. That really emphasizes on the fact that it's more of a benign intent. It has no harm. It's not negative at all. Now, if you see the shadow person and you're like, uh-oh, and the fight or flight kicks in and you're like, I gotta get the heck out of here, that's not necessarily a good reaction. So obviously the intent of that shadow person is pretty negative. So that's the one thing that you want to take a note of. Now, if it is negative, then you probably want to contact your local paranormal investigative team to figure out what exactly is going on. And you need to be completely honest with them in terms of what you have and have not done in terms of like possibly Ouija board use, witchcraft, spells, the whole 9 yards, any family history, any mental illnesses, any medications. It could really help them figure out what's going on. That way that we can figure it out as safely and as quickly as possible. Now, house spirits that are benign can be communicated with, but you kind of want to set a boundary, because if you don't set a boundary, they're going to want to communicate with you all the time. I would recommend setting a time, like maybe like the show, like an hour, maybe a day or once a week or once a month, designated to speaking with these things if they're benign, if they are not negative. If you're not comfortable, don't do it. Tell them to leave you alone. If they don't leave you alone, then contact your paranormal investigator and see if they can help you. Now for that, nightmares about a place in a basement. Since it's a nightmare and you are scared of it, that is definitely something that we can talk about, and you can private message me, and we'll see if we can figure out what's going on.
Okie dokie. I wanted to let you have that all to yourself, so
Thank you.
Okay. Very good. I like all that.
Thank you.
Okay. Michelle Stower says, very good book, Jack. I have that one, and you also cited it for me last year at Kenny Z's fundraiser. Yes, I remember that. I signed it for you. Okay. Very good. Thank you, Michelle. So I'll just throw up there for a second. So good feedback on that book. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Ed, this is going to be the last question since Ed is still there. What are alien sightings? Entities are extra dimensional. That's a good question. I wish I had my my UFO guy on to address that. But I will say this. I've never seen an alien. Okay, but I have sighted a UFO, unidentified flying object, up in the boonies of Canada. And it wasn't just me. There was 5 of us up there all saw these things, lights flying around. And they hovered actually over a big electrical storm that was north of us. I mean, they were way up in the atmosphere. But I never saw these things move fast. They hovered, they rotated, they gyrated, and then they shot straight off back up into space. So I don't know anything. I can tell that Carly's taking a picture of herself on
Of you. It's like, live show.
I caught it. So see, she's on her phone. She's not paying no attention.
I am. I was taking a picture of it.
She's funny. Anyway, so yeah, I saw those. Now the question is what Ed says, what are alien sightings? I've heard different things there, Ed. I've heard people say that they believe they're demons. I've heard people say they believe they are other beings from another world. I've heard people give a crossover between they believe they might be a manifestation of some type of spirits. Truthfully, I don't have the answer. I mean, I don't have an answer to that. I don't know. I haven't had much experience with that per se. Could some demonic things that people see be mistaken for an alien entity? I believe that's potentially possible. We know demonic type spirits don't look human typically when you first see them. Hey, I saw one that looked like a gingerbread man. Okay, I mean, so yeah, explain that one to me. That's not even a joke. I know people think you're probably laughing at that one, but I saw this dark shadow figure in a completely lit room that was shaped like a gingerbread man, and it turned out to be a demonic case. So you tell me. I saw it take off the minute I ran towards it, because I ran towards it. I didn't run away from it. I'm like, what the heck is that? And it was very strange, very weird. But I've seen strange different things. So yeah, that's a good question, Ed. And I just don't have the answer to that. I wish I did. If somebody else thinks has their own theory, of course, we're talking about theories sometimes here. Somebody else has a theory about it. Maybe Carly does, or maybe Ed, you yourself have a theory on it. You want to talk about it? Feel free. Mention it here. And
I haven't reached the end of the paranormal yet. Still learning about the spiritual side of stuff.
Yeah. And we're a little bit over our time. It is 9:08 p.m. So we're going to leave it with this for tonight. And thank you all. We love you. We appreciate you all. I hope you had a great night with us again tonight. I hope we answered a lot of your questions for you. And for those of you, I told you, you can reach out to me at jackkenna.org@gmail.com. Email me there. And we will get back to you privately with some of the more, I think, more private questions that needed to be asked tonight. So we will do that. We'll get back to you and we'll try to help you out with those issues. That was Lisa, and I know there was somebody else too. Appreciate you all. And Melanie Vincent, yes, I remember you from AdCon. And I will try to check out the Kinsman House at some point. Maybe we can get together. We'll talk about that. Thanks, Melanie, for bringing that up. I'm just going to show that real quick that Melanie had posted about that. And I remember you, Melanie. You're a great person. I appreciate it. And yes, we should talk about maybe trying to investigate the Kinsman House. Come out and check that out. I believe that's out in Ohio too. So that was at the Madison Seminary. I met her. So at MadCon too, which I hope I get invited back to this year. I would love to go back to that.
There is
Right. Huh? Well, I have to be invited. I'd like to get invited. And maybe I will. Maybe I will. We'll see what happens. Maybe I will. But I had a great time there, and it was great. And thanks again, everybody. We appreciate you all. We love you all. Prayers out to Lisa for her son, and everybody have a great night. And we'll talk to you again next Tuesday. Remember, we're on every Tuesday from here on out, answering your questions. Paranormal Q&A is a live feed show about your questions. Basically, you're the show. If you don't ask questions, we don't have a show. So, again, have a great night. And enjoy the rest of your week. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.